My name is Leo Connors, and welcome to The Ring and All Other Sports. Tonight, I got a very special guest, wrestling fan Anthony Miller, and this is his third time on the show.
Glad to be here.
Third, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. I'm glad you're here. Let's get right into it. Fan questions. Damon Farah. Besides Chaotic Wrestling, what are some of your other favorite indie promotions?
Besides Chaotic, my favorites are ICW No Holds Barred, and they also run another show called The Pit Fighter, but it's the same company.
Okay.
I've bought tickets to every show that they've had in the Boston area.
Oh, nice. What about I think he means too, is any other local companies around here that you'd go, like, I don't know, have you been to APW or Lucky Pro?
I've been to Lucky Pro, APW, WFA, all those shows.
Cool.
I don't go to them frequently because, for me personally, I gotta know maybe 2/3 of the people on the show to go.
I hear you.
Yeah, but I'm gonna start going to more soon. I know WFA runs a lot of shows in Concord.
Yes.
And they're like right off the highway from me.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna start going to a lot more of those shows.
Cool. They got great talent too.
Yeah,
They really do.
I've been taking a look on their Facebook page and watching them when they share stuff.
Yeah, good stuff. And they got the wrestling school too.
Exactly.
You
Yeah.
know, so I mean that's a win-win. Well, he said, how about a top five? You kind of just named them anyways. I mean, you got the two, Chaotic and ICW No Holds Barred.
Exactly.
All right. Rob Halford wants to know, did you go to any ECW shows?
I didn't go to any ECW shows because I think I would have been about 5 when they came out.
Okay.
But Big Time Wrestling ran a reunion show. I don't remember when, but they had New Jack. They had, not Tommy Dreamer, but they had New Jack, Sabu, Too Cold Scorpio, Nunzio, Sandman, Raven, all them guys. So I kind of consider that an ECW show.
Yeah, definitely. I would consider that an ECW show too. That's wild. I would just wait for you to say Sandman because every single ECW event, the Sandman is always there. Always.
The best part of that show was he gave a whooping to Anthony Green.
Oh.
So it's like perfect. He caned the crap out of him.
And you were following AG since he started, pretty much in Chaotic.
Yeah, I talked to him when he was actually training to be like a referee and all that.
Right.
At an APW show, I want to say in like Salisbury or Amesbury outside.
Right.
So yeah, like you said, since the beginning.
Yeah, it's a long time. And he's killing it in Japan.
Oh, he's doing amazing.
That's awesome. Congratulations, Anthony. Keep killing it. Well, what did you love about ECW? Obviously, like you said, you didn't get to go to shows, but you watched a million shows, I'm sure, right? You watched the DVDs.
Oh, exactly.
And stuff. What did you love about ECW?
Honestly, personally, I love the violence.
Yeah.
I like the violent matches. You know, Chase with Chaotic, he kind of doesn't like the violence. And with his guy Danny Miles doing all the violent stuff, I love it. He loves it. He's just scared for it, but bring on the violence. I just love ECW and the rabid fans.
Yep.
And just the energy. Because, there's all different types of matches, but I can't just sit there and watch, rest holds.
Right.
Jumping off balconies, chair shots and all that, within reason.
Right.
I love the violence.
Nice. I like the violence too. I mean, what drew me to wrestling was the crazy characters back when I was a kid. I was a little kid.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right. Brandon Carlo wants to know, top 5 ECW wrestlers.
Top 5 in no order. New Jack.
Yeah.
Sabu. Tommy Dreamer. RVD. There's one more. I'll say Nunzio, because he's the one that I've met a few times, and he can still go in the ring.
Dude, he could probably beat up half those guys because he's a real shooter.
Exactly.
He really is, What about, did you like the Eliminators? That's always been my favorite tag team from TV wrestling, which I consider ECW.
Yeah. I like the Eliminators. I haven't watched a lot of their matches. Because when did they typically, when was their term in ECW?
Oh, God, they were done probably by 91 or 2.
Yeah, so I'm more like later ECW.
Okay.
I'm gonna, I'll start getting into checking more from the beginning.
Yep.
But I really haven't watched much of their stuff unless I'm sure they fought the gangsters.
Oh, yeah, plenty of times they wrestled the Gangsters. Yeah, I think they dropped the titles to the Gangsters at least once.
All right, so I think I've seen maybe some of those matches,
Yeah.
but, with all the matches, it just gets lost.
Yeah, I'm just saying that I love that tag team. I saw an interview with Perry Saturn today, and he said why they broke up. They just couldn't stand being with each other after all that time being together, that they would like fist fight with each other. So it's like, why are we doing this?
Exactly, kind of like how Santana and Ortiz are now.
Yeah, dude, that's too bad because they were a hell of a tag team.
They were amazing.
Yeah, I saw them at Beyond quite a bit.
I saw them at Beyond and Chaotic a few times, and that's the first time I met them at Chaotic. They were selling merch, and I was like, big fans.
Yeah, I bought a shirt too, EYFBO. That's the shirt I got. The Politician. Do you know who the Politician is?
I haven't seen him wrestle, but I've seen him on I've seen him on posters and all that.
Okay. He says, have you heard of me? Yes.
Yeah.
You just said you've heard of him. Have you seen him wrestle?
I have not, no.
Okay. He's fairly new to the game, but he's pretty good. I think he's pretty good. I think he's doing well.
Is he is he like local to APW?
Well, I guess anybody that'll book him.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he wrestles in a shirt and tie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's got to be hot.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know? But yeah, I think he wrestles. I don't think he's affiliated strictly just with one.
Right.
You know, I think he's been bouncing around. He's actually got booked in quite a few places, which is really good for a new kid
Oh, definitely.
new. All right. Damon Farrah's back. Have you thought of one of these years joining Leo, David, and I at the Gathering in North Carolina? Do you know what it is?
I know what it is, and I've seen you guys post it yearly. I've thought about it, yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
It's all wrestling. Each day, too, they feed you once, except for Sunday.
Right.
But you know what I mean? Like Thursday night, there's a barbecue. Then there's another dinner, and then Saturday night, it's like a banquet.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it's awesome. They feed you and everything. You meet all these wrestlers, get pictures. It's pretty cool. You can even sit. Like, I got to sit with Terry Reynolds.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, I had pictures with her. She's hanging on me. I'm like, I'm loving this. All right. Frankie Hannon wants to know, what are your thoughts on Tony Khan and AEW?
At the beginning, I loved what he was doing. But then, when it's like a new toy, it's amazing. But then when you get used to it, it becomes old.
Right.
And with what he's doing is it seems like I'm a mark, and he seems like he's a mark playing
he's
owner.
Definitely a mark.
It's like, I'll still watch AEW, but I'll watch it on repeat.
Right.
Because then I can fast forward through the stuff that I don't like. But with him, it's like, if he gets his head out of his butt and has more wrestlers help him that have done it for a while, he can do great things with AEW and be real competition with WWE. But right now, it's just,
Yeah. He should bring in a real booker, a guy that's done it for years and years. I'm not saying to bring these people in, but like Kevin Sullivan, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
I wouldn't say Jim Cornette, because Jim Cornette wouldn't even want to work there.
Oh, I listen to his podcast all the time.
I love him.
Amazing.
And then all the names he has for a ball, Pockets, Orange Cassidy's pockets, because he puts his hands in his pockets. Pretty funny.
I almost agree with everything Cornette says.
Me too.
Except for his hatred for hardcore wrestling.
Yeah,
That's like the only
he
thing.
does hate hardcore wrestling.
Oh, I love hearing him go on his rants. He's like, oh, these are idiots. It's like, hey, they can actually wrestle, just they choose to do the stuff that'll get more views.
Right, exactly. But that's funny. All right, Dan Bolio wants to know, if you were a billionaire, he's like, if you were Tony Khan, right, and owned a wrestling company like Tony Khan, what would be some things he does you wouldn't do? And what are some things he does you would do? That's a great question, Dan. Seriously. Thank you.
What I wouldn't do that he does is I would stop taking shots of different companies.
Boom.
I would focus more on what I'm doing and show what I'm doing. And on the things that I would do that he has done is that I would go more for independent wrestling, more so for independent wrestlers than going for ex-WWE, ex-TNA guys that are dead set in those companies for decades. Because if you focus more on the future and less of the past, you'll actually have a future and not go out dying like WCW did.
Right.
Because eventually they got bought out and they were just paying
Yep.
veterans millions of dollars instead of getting new talent.
Yeah, and that was a great answer, by the way. That really was. Personally, Dan, is like I wouldn't do all, like you said, talking about the other companies, but I also wouldn't do so many surprises.
Yeah, surprise on
A big
surprise.
announcement, a big surprise. And I don't care how big they are, it never ends up being that big because there's always a big surprise.
Exactly.
And I will say this, getting Okada,
Yeah.
Will Ospreay, and Mercedes Moné, also known as Sasha Banks, did nothing for them. It hasn't gotten them any more people to watch the show.
Honestly, besides her showing up in Boston, you're right. Like, we were going to show up regardless in Boston because us in New England and Massachusetts, we go to any show that happens anyways.
Yep.
But with just a little word of mouth of hearing her come, they were going to sell out anyways. But like you said, the weeks after,
Yeah.
to the point where I'm a fan of her, I'm getting tired of seeing her unless she's actually going to wrestle.
Right. And that was nothing. She had one match so far?
I think so, yeah.
It's insane. She's been there like a month.
Yeah, she comes out, she dances or talks, and then leaves.
And
Same
she's
thing.
not the greatest talker.
No.
She's okay, but she's definitely not the best. All right. Uncle Eddie Hunt. You know Ed, right?
Yep.
Manager from APW. How long would it take you to pin Ilya?
All of me.
I love this question.
Oh, me and him had our beef, for years.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, that dude's trained. He would cream me in a second. he would take me. I tried hopping a guardrail outside of Walmart practicing. I got stuck halfway.
Oh, God, yeah, but just pretending. Talk some trash to him.
Oh, I would
You
love
do
that.
from the seat. I know you do.
Oh, I talk. See, I stay right at the guardrail. He
Yeah.
gets in my face, I'll be right there. They want to body slam me or chop me, I'll take it. I'll sign a waiver.
Right? Well, you actually have done the one-day fantasy camp. How many times have you done it? Just once?
I've done it once. And then, I did that one-day camp because I knew pretty much everybody throughout the years.
Right.
So it was like, a great, it's still a great experience, but
Yeah.
it's not like for me being a kid and then, being of the age to do it and getting my ass kicked by them.
Right.
But
I saw a picture today, and one of the guys, you were going over the rope, one of the guys was Josh Briggs.
Oh, yeah. Yes,
You
sir.
know? Josh Briggs, he sat not in that seat. I had the big tables back then. But he's been here.
Oh, he's doing a great thing now. I've, been a fan of him for years.
Yeah, me too. He really is. He's killing it. Took him a while to get on TV, though, compared to the other guys.
Right.
It really did. I don't know why. I don't know if he was hurt. Could have easily been hurt.
Exactly.
But I mean, AG is the quickest one that I've seen from around here, besides Kofi, that they signed and put on TV right away. Remember when he was in NXT? He was wrestling on 205 Live every week.
He was doing great things.
Yeah.
It's a shame that, they didn't keep him, but
Yeah, I was surprised they dropped him.
he's doing great, though, like you said earlier, Japan and all that.
And he's not done over here in the United States. Believe me, I would not be surprised if he ends up back in the WWE. He's good enough.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And then Carmelo got on TV pretty quick, too.
Oh, man, Carmelo, that's my boy.
Yep.
100%.
Yep.
I mean, I was a fan of him, but once he dropped that Thriller Nova gimmick
Yeah.
and would kill Nova, I was 100% behind him.
Yep. And me and you are basic.
Oh, basically.
We're basic. I got to admit, I asked him the question here, right? What makes you basic? And Trigger goes, just asking the question makes you basic. I'm like, oh, man.
And I watched that, and he said the number one basic. He said it was.
Yeah, it was you. He did.
I'm like, that's amazing. That's 100% on my book. I will be the number one basic.
Yep, I hear you. That means they like you, though.
Exactly.
You know they like you. They're great guys. They were a great team.
100%.
Royce. And then they brought in Tasha Steelz, and I had, when I had them on, they had said they were thinking about getting a girl to the group for like 6 months.
Yeah.
And I asked them, I said, was it always Tasha Steelz? Or was it somebody else? And he said, no, it was always Tasha.
She fit that role perfectly.
Yeah, she did. She really did. And then she got signed before Carmelo did to TNA.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
But she did great over there.
She's still there, I think. I think she's still there. I'm not positive, though.
I think so, too.
Nice. Yeah, and what about Jordan Grace? You must have seen her like at Beyond a couple times, right?
Yeah, I've seen her wrestle a few times. I've seen her fight her. I don't know if he was her husband at the time, but when she fought
Gresham.
Yeah, Gresham
Yeah.
at Somerville.
Yep, at the Arts.
Yep, that's it.
Yep. I might have even been at that show too. I think I saw them wrestle. But she's phenomenal. What
yeah.
a showing in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, she did amazing.
She did really good.
She was one of the best surprises they had.
Yeah. And I definitely would think that Triple H will be signing her when her contract's up.
He'd be stupid not to.
Exactly. All right. Andy Miller wants to know, who are your favorite indie wrestlers?
Ooh.
This is a good question. Thank you, Andy.
Right now, JT Dunn is in my top. Danny Miles, for what he's been doing over the past few years, not just chaotic, but he's been going crazy and chaotic.
Yeah.
BTW is their champion.
Yep.
I know he's been in APW for like a decade.
Yep.
And I'm gonna Shannon Lavanzi.
Nice.
She's one of the craziest wrestlers in general. From what I've seen from her just starting. She's taking skewers in the head. She's jumped off balconies twice.
Yeah.
She's going to be one of the next top stars going to either AEW or NXT within either a year or two.
Wow, that's awesome. Now, how long has she been wrestling? 2 years or 3?
Maybe 3.
Maybe 3, so it's definitely 2.
I think she came like right after at least from when I was watching, right after the pandemic stopped wrestling up here.
Yeah.
But been taking, her first match, I think, was against Smashmaster. She was taking insane bumps from that.
Yeah. But he's a safe worker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, he has to be. If he wasn't, she would have been broken.
Her career would have been over.
Exactly.
All right. But I saw a post on Facebook saying that May 10th, Chaotic Wrestling is in Tewksbury. And we have Danny Miles versus Big Bacon Brad Hollister. But let's see if you said something about, since it did it last time it worked, let's see if we can go 2 for 2. Big Bacon getting skewered. Who got skewered last time?
Oh, no. Last time we were chanting for fire just to get under Trace's skin.
Yeah.
And then later in the show, Miles did a fire spot and
a fireball?
Yeah, exactly. A fireball into Aaron Rourke's face. Ooh. And we were just surprised, so we chanted, we got fire.
Yeah.
It's like, I didn't think it would work, so, next show, since it's Bacon can get skewered.
Yeah, it can. That's awesome. That's very creative.
Oh, if it keeps on going, I'm going to be, I'm still going to do it, just to get under Chase's skin a little more and more.
That's funny.
And if they do any outside shows, we're going to ask for flaming tables.
Whoa, very nice. All right. A guy that was sitting here last week, Han Wonder, also known as Monster Mac. What's your favorite part of attending live indie shows, and what's your least favorite part?
My favorite part of attending the shows is when the wrestlers actually, communicate with the fans. If a fan's, talking trash and you're just ignoring the fans, you're not getting the best of your gimmick. The fans are paying to talk trash and the fans are paying to cheer you. Yep. So, and what I think is, if a fan is cheering on a heel and is supporting you after the years, show some, not gratitude, but, this fan's behind me and the rest of the crowd isn't. I think that would, show that, you do care.
Right.
But you don't care what the haters think.
Yep, that's true. Very true. Great answer. Joey Kilmartin, favorite deathmatch weapon?
My favorite deathmatch weapon?
Yeah.
I want to say the light tube.
Yeah, you like the light tubes?
I love it, and I'm only saying it now because I know my dad hates it.
And he's sitting right over there.
It's just, the first ICW show that came up here, they had light tubes.
Right.
But I missed that show because I was sick. And then since then, they haven't used light tubes at all.
Oh, wow.
But the last show that they had, in Sonia, in Cambridge, they used 2 glass panels.
Yep.
Because they really weren't supposed to use glass, apparently. I'm a fan. I don't know, but it was a big surprise for the end.
Yeah.
Because they're no longer running shows for their foreseeable future.
In Boston, yeah. That's what Danny had said. That was like,
Right.
I was going to go to, I bought tickets and then I couldn't go and I gave them away to the kid because I'm like, I can't go. And he's like, can I pay? I'm like, just take them, buddy. You know what I mean? Something nice for somebody. But I really wanted to go. Danny said it was his last one.
Hopefully, he gave us a little bit of hope at the end that if ICW would run a show again, it probably won't be the last time in Mass.
Oh,
but, you know, for right now.
Right. Well, good. I hope he gets, I hope they come back.
100%.
All right. Are there any that you dislike or feel a Bush League? Like they're not good enough?
I mean, gusset plates maybe, because, you know, there's only so much you can do with a gusset plate.
Right.
But I think within reason, just like within reason for light tubes, they can work. But there's really not a match or a weapon where I think doesn't work in a death match.
Right. Okay. Excellent. All right. My buddy Dave Padula, he went off on good stuff.
Yeah.
Instead of fan questions to a fan, how about wrestling questions to a fan? What was your first live ECW show? You did not go to that. Okay. What is the one moment that really stuck out about a show, like any show, and why? Any big event that you enjoyed?
One of the biggest surprises was when William Regal came out for Chaotic Wrestling in Woburn, Mass.
Wow.
I think he came out to see the War Raiders at the time. But just him coming out was just the biggest holy, you know what, moment.
Yeah, absolutely. That's got to be. Were you there when Vince McMahon was there?
I was not.
I was going to say, because that would have definitely been, you know.
Oh, that would have been the biggest.
Yeah. And John Cena, that was crazy. All right. As a fan, what do you think wrestlers should do or say about a show that they're going to be wrestling on that will make you need to be at that show instead of wanting to be at that show?
They just need to overly promote it. Because I know back in the day, wrestlers and promoters would show, you know, a preview of what's going to happen.
Right.
Because, you know, you can post as many posters as you want or pictures, but if you're not talking to the fans, if you're not showing the fans, you know, the intensity of why you need to be there, they're not going to care because they can just watch it on, you know, any of the streaming services instead of going in person to the shows.
Yep, that's just like in the 70s and stuff, in the early 80s, the promos that they would do. You know, I'm going to get you in Madison Square Garden, da-da-da, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
And like you said, and there would be a lot of intensity.
Yeah.
All right, let's see, is there anything else here? Need, meaning there's no way you're going to miss the show. Now, that was just a continuation of the question. Dave, thanks for the question, buddy. All right. We're almost done here with the fan questions, I think. Let's see here. Yep, that's it for the fan questions. All right, so let's talk a little about Chaotic Wrestling. Like, when you first went to Chaotic, right? Do you remember, like, the first couple of wrestlers that you were like, whoa, man, like, they're unbelievable, right away?
Gino Martino.
Yeah.
Been a big fan of him from the beginning.
Yep.
And he fought, I don't remember which one of the Logans, but they had a Woburn Street fight, and they just went crazy.
Wow.
And that was the first time I realized how hard of a head Gino really has.
Thickest skull in the world. That's what they say.
That's insane.
And he's in the Guinness Book of Records.
Oh, yeah.
With the thickest skull.
That is crazy.
And I'm a huge fan of Gino, too, and so is it my son. My son loved it when Mike was little. Gino would go and do the Foley spot, the elbow outside the ring, and my son would flip out for that move. I loved it, too.
I finally found a match that he told me about that he was in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
The King of Chaos Finals 4-way no-rope barbed wire match. Oh, damn, that match was insane.
Yeah.
They used light tubes and all the stuff that I would never think to see in a chaotic ring.
Yeah.
They used all that.
Do you remember anybody else that was in the match by chance?
Muhammad Ali or Ali Muhammad.
Yep. That's yes.
And there was
Anthony Ruffo.
Yep, him.
Yep.
And there was, I forget the other two, but they were all like bigger guys.
Right. Yeah, Gino's awesome. The late, great Anthony Ruffo was phenomenal. And, they both ended up losing a lot of weight because they both were very big. They both did, great things. And Anthony was promoting shows, if I'm not mistaken, back before he passed away. But, both those guys, phenomenal.
I'm hoping Gino made a post earlier this year, and hopefully he does make an appearance in one of these shows.
Awesome.
If he does, I'm going to be there.
Yeah, no doubt. No, don't make it a surprise, Gino. You know what I mean? Make sure we know about it so we can be there.
Oh, I'll be pissed.
Right?
If he does that, like a random appearance, I'm not there.
And me too. I'd be mad too because I'd want to go.
You got 2 tickets sold right now from us.
Yep, absolutely you do. All right. So I don't know exactly how far you went back with Chaotic. Were you around for the Valedictorians versus the Logan brothers?
No.
Okay.
I was around pretty much when they joined sides with Sean Gorman.
Okay.
Maybe late 2012. All I know is Sean Burke it was after Mikaze was champion.
Okay.
So it was when Sean Burke was the champion.
Yep.
And then from that on, I went to almost every show.
Wow. That's phenomenal that you went, because I know you're a Chaotic regular. Every show you're there unless you're deathly sick.
Exactly. I'm the only fan with a replica Chaotic belt.
Right.
I had to go my own way to get it.
Yeah.
But, it's not exact. It's not exact, so, I'm safe.
Right.
But I'm trying to get it signed by all the Chaotic champs from when I started on.
Yeah.
I got Chase and I got JT done so far.
Nice. That's awesome. I noticed that you were at the BTW show that had the SAT, the Briscoes, and the Hardy Boys.
Yes, sir.
Because I saw a picture with them, and I have the same picture. They're wearing the same clothes.
Yep.
So obviously I was there that night too.
Yeah,
me and Dave.
I saw you at the show. You introduced me to Dan Moff.
Yes. He's awesome.
Oh, he's
Want
the
to
best.
talk about a nice guy though? Like, now there's a guy that loves his fans.
Oh yeah.
He really does. Every time I see him, he's got a hug. He's an awesome guy.
The main reason why I went to that show was obviously for me to see the Briscoes.
Yep.
And to see Dan Moff.
Yep.
Everyone was there to see the Hardys.
Yep.
I met him earlier that day.
Yeah.
On my way to BTW, there was a random snowstorm. I almost crashed on my way there. Had to take it a little bit slower in the car, but I made it one piece.
That's the first show I had to wait outside, like in a line. Honestly, because every other show, you just walk right in. There's only like 70, 80 people in there. Not a Chaotic, but other companies.
Exactly.
But I was there to see the SAT and the Briscoes. Again, I wasn't there to see the Hotties either. You know what I mean?
SAT.
And Danny Moff.
And the SATs made me a big fan that night. I personally, because I didn't know them before, I was bummed that the Briscoes lost.
Yep.
When I met Jay Briscoe, I told him, the kick of the Hardy's butt.
Yep.
And he said, I will. And I'm like, hey, you lost.
Right.
He's like, you made me a promise, man.
Right. But great guys, the Briscoes. Jay was a great guy too. I met them all like when I was catering for, early Ring of Honor. And I got to meet a lot of cool guys and they both were phenomenal.
I'm still pissed that Tony didn't have them on AEW.
Yeah.
I heard, maybe the reasons why, but, as a fan, still, you could have done something, I assume.
Yeah.
Because, they've had other people on the show that have done things themselves, and, you could have made an exception.
Yep.
And now with Mark on the show, you realize that that's the case.
Right. And I don't know, maybe a tag team there was a little worried about them being more popular than them.
Yeah, could be.
And they had to pull the EVPs. I'm not saying they did it or not, but you would think that Tony Khan would have went right for the Briscoe brothers.
Exactly. And now
really?
Now that didn't he own Ring of Honor when...
No, he ended up buying Ring of Honor, but he didn't own it. But he
when
could
the
have
Briscoes were there? When the Briscoes fought FTR, he still didn't own Ring of Honor? It was owned by somebody else?
I'm not positive. I really don't know exactly when he bought it.
Right.
But it could have. He could have. And it might not have been either, though, because Tony, I think, is nice enough to let the guys wrestle other places if they get the opportunity.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
That's one good thing that I like about him.
Yeah.
Because, I know Max Caster wrestles a lot for Beyond or Wrestling Open, and it's cool seeing him pop up every now and then.
Definitely. It really is. So, Danny Miles, that night,
Yep.
at the BTW show, took on Jay Lethal
Oh, that match was
in a
insane.
time limit draw.
Yeah.
And then they both, Jay Lethal said the next time they're in the same building together, they're doing an Iron Man 60-minute match. I would love to see that match.
Oh, same.
They have some chemistry, them guys. They've had a few matches.
Yeah, I've been trying to, see back in the past with Danny Miles and like what he's done outside of, the local shows.
Right.
And he can go go the mile.
He was in Japan too, if I'm not mistaken. He did a tour of Japan.
I believe it.
Danny's an awesome wrestler. He really is. And that match with Jay Lethal might have stole the show.
Oh, definitely.
Even though the Alec Price winning that 6-man for the cup,
Yeah.
that was pretty cool too.
Alec Price is another guy.
Yeah.
That he is an insane wrestler, and he gets fired up before the shows.
Yep.
Like when he was in ICW versus Ace, they just tore the place up.
Nice.
Ace Romero is another one that's at the top of my list. He's a big dude, but it's big boy season, and he's another one that goes insane in the hardcore matches.
Absolutely. And he's a big boy, but he can move.
I have never
He can move.
I have never seen many people in ICW run the chains as ropes, and he bounced off the chains, dove through the middle rope, and I don't care what anybody says, that was the biggest pop of the night, seeing him fly through the chains.
Nice. Remember when he had that viral moment? When he hit the kid?
Yep.
And you gotta admit, the kid did really good because he jumped.
Yeah.
But all he could really do was jump high. It was all Ace shoving him 8 rows or 6 rows into the stands.
Oh, that was insane. Every time Ace, wrestles somebody,
Yeah.
that's the moment I'm waiting for, is I want to see how far he can pounce somebody,
Yeah.
if not out of the ring.
Yeah, and that viral one was amazing because he really drove that kid deep into the stands.
That was insane.
Yeah, it was. But again, another big guy that can move, a local guy that's been around, TNA. I'm surprised AEW hasn't scoffed him up.
Exactly.
Why not?
Maybe they're afraid of the big boy season,
Maybe they are. Maybe they are. Well, Samoa Joe was the AEW champion.
Exactly. Yep.
And now Swerve Strickland is the champ, which I like.
Yeah, same.
I think Swerve's a great wrestler. I'm a huge Samoa Joe fan.
Right.
I've been since 2002, 2001. And I like that Joe dropped the belt. You know what I mean? That doing business, behind stage and all that. But Strickland, he can work.
Oh yeah, he's another one that I first seen him in Lucha Underground as Killshot, I believe.
Yeah.
And he went crazy on there. And now he was the top of the company.
Right.
But I feel like Tony waited a little long. Because, I think instead of having a 3-way with Paige, it should have just been Joe and Swerve.
Yeah.
And it should have happened maybe then.
Right.
Or if not then, Joe retain and then the rematch.
Yeah.
But, personally, I don't like Adam Page.
Yeah, I don't either.
I think all that cowboy BS isn't good. But, I think it took a little while. I'm happy for Swerve.
Me too.
But it just took way too long.
Yeah. I saw Swerve at that show I was telling you about earlier with Danny DeMonto, the one that Jack ran in Watertown. He was on that show. All right. So you went to a few Beyond shows, you said.
Yep.
Do you remember, were you there when Dijak was there and he took on, who was the other big guy? Oh, he took on Dan Moff.
I don't think I was there for that one. Do you remember what building it was in at all?
It was always the Arts, the only place I ever went to Beyond for the longest time. Now I've gone to Worcester.
And he took on I don't think I was there for that one, no.
That was a good match.
Oh, I'm going to look it up when I get home later tonight.
Yeah, Dijak had some good matches in that company.
He was one of my top favorites when he was around. He's another one that I want to add to my Chaotic belt. He's one of my favorite champions that Chaotic had.
Yeah.
It wasn't a long enough reign for my liking, but from him showing what he can do, he's another one that I'm glad he's in NXT. I just wish that they would, put him more towards the top.
Yeah.
Instead of, showing what he can do and then dropping him. Showing what he can do and then dropping him.
Yeah. I think the WWE did that a lot with the Miz. I mean, remember they had to beat Cena, and then next pay-per-view or 2 pay-per-views later, he was losing to a mid-carder.
I think I'm one of the only people that's from the Boston area that wanted the Miz to go over John Cena at Mania. I was in high school and all my buddies were pissed, and I was the only one that was happy. I'm like, hey, I'm a fan of the Miz.
Right.
Still, I'm sick of Cena, because he was the Hogan of this era, was pushed way too much.
Well, and you know something, what I really like about the Miz is he told the world on that TV show he was on, I forget the name of it, but he told the world that he was going to be a WWE wrestler.
Yep.
And he did that. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Obviously, it's hard to become a WWE wrestler.
Right.
Okay? So he worked at it, but I just think the cockiness in him telling the world that he knew he was gonna.
And he did that before everything was more friendly. He did that, when Benoit, Hardcore Holly, and all them guys they were not treating you nice backstage.
No, dude, he couldn't. Sometimes he had to dress in the regular bathroom that the fans use.
He got kicked out. So from him going from the bottom, to the top.
And he took it. And that made it probably end a lot quicker than it could have.
Exactly.
Because he took it. I think the Miz is very talented.
Oh, yeah.
My girlfriend loved the show he had. Did you see that show on USA Network that they had?
Yeah, Miz and Mrs.
I thought that was pretty decent. I mean, I'm a fan of wrestling, but she loved that show, and I'd have the headphones on, but I'd be looking at it. But pretty funny. His dad is a wacko.
Oh, yep.
And his dad will do anything Dolph Ziggler says.
Really?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Oh.
The Miz said he treats Dolph like Dolph's his son, and he treats the Miz like he's not his father.
Oh, that is funny.
Yeah, very funny. All right, let's play the name game a little bit. Throw some names out there.
Okay.
David Ratty. David Ratty goes to the Chaotix.
Yep. A lot of times, I have to put 2 and 2 together, and I'm like, all right, which show, because there's a lot of people that, I know.
Right.
But if you throw a name at me, I get a blank face.
He's like you, though. He's at every Chaotix show.
I see him all the time.
Yeah. Great guy. Dave, let me know if you want to be a guest on the show. I'd love to have you, Look at Anthony. Look how good he's doing.
It's a blast.
It is. It's a lot of fun talking wrestling. How about referee Kevin Quinn?
Oh, Quinn is the man. If he's not on a show reffing, I feel like there's a blank space there.
Did you know him when he was just a fan? Because I didn't.
There's a memory in my head that I don't know if it was him. There was somebody sitting at a Chikara show at Haverhill. He was in the crowd.
Yeah.
I want to say it was Biff. Told everybody to move. There was one person that stayed there. He dove through, wiped out all the chairs, and he yelled at him. He's like, see, this is why you need to listen and move.
Right.
Now, I don't know if it was Quinn, but he resembled Kevin Quinn.
Right. That's funny. And Biff Busick is an amazing wrestler.
He's another guy that at the beginning, I wasn't talking to wrestlers when I was a kid there, but when he left and got signed, they had a show in the Lowell Memorial Auditorium. He recognized me.
Wasn't that the night Joe won the title?
No, it was after that.
Okay.
But he recognized me. I was surprised. He hopped over the guardrail. I got a photo with him. And
That's pretty cool.
I'm like, I was surprised.
It's nice when, like you said, when the wrestlers acknowledge you.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? There is nothing like it, really.
No.
If you go to a wrestling show, if a wrestler says, hey, Leo, Anthony, how can you not be like, man, he knows me?
Exactly.
And I'm such a fan of this guy. That is really cool. How about, I think they wrestled for Chaotic a couple times, at least once I know that. The Neighborhood. Bonnie Aries and Kid V.
They are a tag team that they got the fans behind them, and what they're doing is really working. They are tremendous.
Yeah. I think they're going to be a great tag team that could get signed.
Oh, yeah.
As a tag team down the line. They
yeah.
have great chemistry.
They wrestled a few times. They were supposed to fight at Cold Fury, but I think Kid V got like something, he hurt his nose.
Yeah.
So they came back the next month.
Yeah.
And their match almost stole the show.
So they've been there a couple times then.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Love those guys. Those guys are awesome. All right. Well, you said Shannon Levangie. You talked about her. How about Casey Cattell? Isn't that from ICW?
Yep.
What do you think about her?
She, besides Shannon, her and Casey are my top two, wow, getting tongue-tied, top two favorites that I have.
Right. It's similar.
Oh, yeah.
Very similar. So you have a type.
I do. They're both
You have a
crazy as
type.
hell. Casey, when I pretty much watched her when she was a manager for her husband.
Yeah.
And she was doing some spots.
Brandon Kirk?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
She was doing crazy spots, but then she started wrestling. And, slowly here and there, she worked her way to the top.
Yeah. Hardcore.
Oh, definitely.
It's crazy. It's wild to see women do the hardcore stuff.
She was there. She was ICW's heavyweight champion for a while.
Wow.
She went to Australia and I want to say the UK as their champion.
Wow. Now, the first woman I saw do hardcore, and you probably will know it, Lufisto from Canada.
Yep.
She did it in CZW.
Oh, old school.
And man, I'm telling you, dude, the matches she had, she got her butt kicked. And she kicked a lot of butt. She's very, very tough, very legit, very small.
Yeah. I think she fought Casey for the title like a year or so ago.
Right, I wouldn't doubt that.
Her and Mickey Knuckles. Mickey Knuckles is another one. She's a legend.
Yeah, no doubt. Did you ever see the thing where she beat up Mike Levy?
Mike Levy. Was it an outside show?
Oh yeah, and then the guys came in and beat him up after, including Ian Rotten's son.
Yep, I watched it off a YouTuber, Blako.
Yeah, I can see everything that happened to him in the match. Fine, right?
After
the
that
stuff
was too
after,
much.
They should have been arrested for that. Really.
I was a fan of New Jack, but even with New Jack, he kind of stopped,
Right.
after the fact, and he didn't have help. Those guys,
They beat the crap out of him.
Tank and I think Devin Moore.
Devin Moore.
Those two, it's like, I'm a fan of them, but at that show, they were acting like punks from my standpoint.
Yeah, and I'm fans of them too, but that was ridiculous. I mean, the stomps on his face was hard to watch.
And,
it was really hard to watch.
It was just, I'm a fan of hardcore stuff, but that was just too gruesome.
Yeah.
I'm not really a big fan of Ian at all from the standpoint of how he runs shows and all that.
Yeah, you don't have respect for him. Right? No, because I don't either. I hear you. But yeah. That was uncalled for. That was really bad. Guys, if you want to know what we're talking about, search Mickey Knuckles versus Mike Levy and make sure you get the long version of it.
Exactly.
To see the whole thing. And it's got to be at least 18 minutes or close to it.
If you're friends of me, I'll share it later, if you want.
Yeah.
Just for a little bonus for being a fan of Squeaks.
Yeah, there you go. All right, how about Paris Van Dale? That's her name, right?
Yep.
Okay.
She's one where, what she's doing is working. She gets under people's skin.
Yeah.
But she's been proven a lot. She's been doing a killing being the Pan-Optic champion.
Yeah. And she's booked at a lot of places. She wrestles all around, man. So that's really, really good.
I think she's been in, I forget where, but like you said, she's traveling outside the New England area.
Oh yeah, but even in New England, she's popped up at a few companies. You know, I find her very, very, very talented. How about I think you brought him up earlier, real quick. Aaron Rourke, who's phenomenal, man.
He's another one that did amazing things over the years.
He's from Creative Pro.
Yeah, that's another thing where a little recently I was surprised. Like you were to see him at WFA.
Yeah,
and then
me
another
too.
fan was like, he never was a part of, at least from the beginning, I think NEPA or the school.
Just wrestled for Chaotic.
Exactly.
I'm sure he's been training in the school too, though. I'm not,
Right, but it's like, for me, I always thought, he was from there because I was at the moment where they're using a lot of local guys.
Yep.
But I was like, oh yeah, he was at Creative Pro.
Yeah. Very, very talented kid. A lot of guys from Creative Pro. TJ Crawford, Creative Pro.
Yeah, him.
Max Casta, Anthony Bowen, all Creative Pro guys. What's her name? The girl
Casey?
in AEW. No. Tall. She used to be the alien.
Chris Statlander.
Statlander. Another one from Creative Pro. MJF, Creative Pro.
He's another guy that, from the beginning, he's one of those guys, like with Casanova, where
Yeah.
he did his indie stick on the big leagues,
Yeah.
and it's still working.
Yes, I agree 100%. And let's talk a little bit about Carmelo Hayes.
All right.
He's just got signed to SmackDown. He had a phenomenal match with,
Cody Rhodes.
and what a great back and forth match. He didn't bury him.
Right.
That match was really, really good. We know how good Carmelo is, and obviously Cody Rhodes is a great wrestler.
Right.
But man, I get so excited when I see him in the ring in NXT, WWE. It's amazing.
Oh, yeah, and you can think about it. He wrestled a few times, but he was signed, like you said, to SmackDown. He was in the main event his first night.
Yeah.
He proved it.
Taking on the world champ.
He should have taken the belt.
I would have loved to have seen that, but don't be surprised when he does.
Exactly.
Because I don't know if you know this, but I remember reading online that him and Shawn Michaels were talking.
Yeah.
And Shawn Michaels said, "What do you want? What do you want out of this?" And he said, "I want to be the top guy." And you know what Shawn Michaels said? "Let's make that happen."
Oh, I can't wait for that.
He's already making it happen. Look,
Yeah.
I mean, he pushed him to the moon on NXT.
And he's one of the guys where he's not like getting pushed and, because there's some guys that get pushed
And then dropped.
Right.
We were talking about that, yeah.
he's staying at the top and he's showing everybody why.
Yeah.
Because there's the haters, but then there's people that hate him but respect him.
Right.
And
Well,
see what he can do.
Look at that pay-per-view where the main event wasn't for the world championship.
Exactly.
Trick versus Carmelo.
That match was great.
Both their matches that I see them have were really, really, like you said, great. They wrestled at least twice on NXT.
I believe so, yeah.
But yeah, Trick Williams doing very well.
Yeah, he's the world champion now.
Yes. Tall. I think he's got a bright future. I really
yeah.
do. I think he's going to do big things. I kind of hope him and Mello get back together on SmackDown, let's say.
Yeah.
Get on the same page. I kind of wish they didn't break up in NXT. I kind of wish they went to the show, to SmackDown, let's say, because that's where he is.
Right.
Together. And have that breakup a couple years down the line on the big stage.
I could see that working.
I would not be surprised to see when Trick eventually comes.
Yeah.
He hooks back up with Mello like they didn't break up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. We've seen it happen before with teams breaking up, coming back together, like the Hardys, the
Yep.
Dudleys, all of them.
Yep. Oh, absolutely. Matter of fact, Dan Mott did that a couple times with his partner in the Hit Squad, Steve Matt.
Right.
That was a great tag team.
Oh, they were insane. I remember them and Beyond, just some of their matches.
Yeah.
It was just crazy. They had, I think, a war with EYFBO at the
Yep.
time a few times. Them when they fought Penelope Ford and Joey Janela.
Oh, that was good too. Yeah. Yeah.
Beyond at the time was having the best intergender matches that I've seen.
100%. And Penelope Ford.
She's insane.
Wow.
Insanely
She's a good
beautiful,
wrestler. I'm
insanely
just talking
talented.
about her looks.
Yeah, she's looks amazing.
AEW has some couple of pretty fine women. Anna
yeah.
Jay.
She's another one. She's, she looks amazing and she's crazy too and does hardcore matches.
Yes. Thunder Rosa.
She's insane.
Yeah.
All the way around.
Yeah. And what a great wrestler. And
yeah.
I like what Tony Storm's doing with the 50s type, in the black and white.
Yeah.
I like it.
Personally, for me, I got sick of it. And it's like now I'm like just waiting to see,
Yeah.
what's going to happen. But, I'll let everybody enjoy what they enjoy,
Yep.
But I'm just waiting for the turn or something like that where Mariah May's with
Yeah,
it.
yes.
I'm just waiting for that turn.
Yeah. I wonder how that's going to be. Is Mariah May going to attack her as a heel?
Right.
Or is Tony Storm got to turn on her and stay a heel and turn her baby face?
Ooh,
which would
I didn't
make a
think of
lot
that.
of sense.
It would. But yeah, Tony Storm's definitely talented.
Yeah, yeah. And thick, too.
Oh, yeah.
I like a thick girl,
Her and Deonna Purrazzo,
Yes.
amazing.
Yeah.
Deanna's another one. I'm not sure if I know she was local, but I don't know if she was born around here.
No, but she's wrestled around here. But I think she's from the New Jersey area, but I
Okay.
could be 100% wrong. So guys, don't kill me if I'm wrong. I really don't know, but if I had to guess, that's where I'd guess. How about, you brought him up earlier too. at the ECW thing. RVD, have you ever met Rob Van Dam by chance?
I met him once.
Nice.
It was at a Chaotic show when they had the stadium show the first time, the only time. He was amazing. He, signed my TV title.
Yeah.
And my figure. He has one of the best autographs.
Yeah.
He was just, a cool guy to talk to for a few minutes.
I met him I catered for Tommy Dreamer's House of Hardcore.
Okay.
And I brought a bunch of magazines.
Yeah.
And my buddy Derek, I had my grandson too, so we were out watching the matches.
Yeah.
And Rob came over to get some food, and he said, hey, Rob, could you do me a favor and sign a couple of these magazines? He said, hold on. He went and got all his markers, and he's like, oh, that will look good in gold.
Oh, see.
I mean, he could have just did one marker and just went through them real fast. But he literally took the time.
That's what I love when wrestlers take the time.
Yeah.
A lot of times, I bring my marker and they'll be ready, to sign something. I'm like, wait, hold on, I got this. Let me get it ready.
Yep.
Because, over the years, the collection, it's like, if I'm going out of my way, give it a minute, make your money, they'll take an extra 30 seconds.
Yeah.
But a lot of times the wrestlers get a kick when, I bring like with Dreamer.
Yeah.
I'll bring a figure or a poster from the early 2000s or 90s.
And he's like, whoa, right?
He's like, how old are you? I'm like, 27. He's like, you were like 5 when this came out. I'm like, I got connections.
That's awesome. All right, how about, I seen you had a picture with these guys. I was kind of surprised. The Minutemen. Devin Blaze and Tommy Trainwreck.
Them guys, they were amazing within the few promotions that I've watched, but they've been around.
Yeah.
With Chaotic, Beyond, Lucky Pro.
Yep.
I traveled to Lucky Pro just to see their match a few years ago. And with Tommy Trainwreck coming back last December for the Christmas Death Match, I went for that, what's the name of the show? Crap.
Lethal Lottery?
I think that's it, yeah.
Okay. Is it the Battle Royal type match?
No, it was just a death match.
Okay.
But there were a promotion that'll come to me after the show.
Right.
Probably.
Yeah, no problem.
But he had a death match where they used gusset plates.
Whoa.
And it was a surprise to the other guy in the match.
Yeah.
He's like, how the hell do I use these? He's like, I'll show you. He swore, which I'm not going to do. But that match was insane. I got a few weapons from the match.
Yeah.
But he's another one that's tearing it up out west.
I was going to say, I could have swore I ran across his profile on Facebook, and he says he's living in Wisconsin.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
He made the trip from there all the way over here for the match. And it was an amazing match. He's still killing it. He can wrestle.
Yeah, he can.
And he can go hardcore.
Yeah, he can. Very talented kid. All right, how about let's go back to the women. Vanity Vixen?
I've seen her here and there when I used to go to Liberty States.
Yep.
In the few shows for APW. She can do it.
Yeah, she got herself in phenomenal shape. I don't know if you knew that, but yeah.
I'm gonna have to go to. I think she still does APW.
APW every show.
I'm gonna go to them a few more. They run shows in Derry, and I'm gonna start doing a few more of their shows because I'm in Derry.
Yeah.
It's always a good time to go to their shows.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Michael Morse is a great guy. The guy that he owns it.
Okay.
Mike Gerard as the managing partner on camera. You know what I mean?
Right.
All right. How about Flip Gordon? Oh, I haven't seen wrestle in a long time.
I haven't seen him in maybe a year or so.
Yeah.
He's doing great. He got signed to. I'm not sure which promotion, but it's in Mexico. But he's done great things even in the beginning. He's another guy where he did a flippy gimmick, but he got a lot. He got bulked on. He's another one that I'm glad he's doing big things. Always was a nice guy when I talked to him behind the scenes.
Yep. I think I had Brick Mastone here one time, right? And we were talking about Flip. And he said Flip is so good at what he does because he has phenomenal balance.
Yeah, yes, he does.
Which is obviously for doing that stuff, it would be helpful if you had some.
Right.
Well,
when I brought a friend onto the shows.
Yeah.
And he was her biggest fan. She never liked her. She didn't think she liked the wrestling. So I brought her on a date to one Chaotic show.
Yeah.
And they made her a fan.
That's awesome. One show, instant fan.
100%. And she was happy to see Ilya win the title.
Yeah.
Her last show going was...
Happy to see Ilya win the title. That's unbelievable. I think someone's happy for him?
I was pissed. I was like, how the hell are you going to like this guy?
Exactly.
I was behind Chase. You know, he won. And when he won, he looked right at me, told me, put that in my pipe and smoke it. You know, gave me the bird on the, you know.
Right.
Seeing him out. And he's another one where I'm going to, you know, look like an idiot going to him, like, hey, can you sign this?
Right.
You know, but he made it work.
Yeah.
He was a baby face, and then I hated on him. And then the fans were starting to, you know, I'm not saying I started it. I'm not saying I wasn't.
Right. Exactly.
And when he turned,
Yeah.
it was perfect. He was the number one hated guy, and since the Logans were heels.
Right. Right. And you said he was getting to be hated still as a babyface.
Yeah, exactly.
Because of you.
I gotta love to help either cheer
It's
him.
true.
Exactly.
So you talked earlier about like how when you get recognized by fans. Do you remember when Ciampa was supposed to come back to Chaotic and he broke his neck?
Yes.
And handsome Johnny Ivar came. Yep. I would imagine when you walked up you did that picture with him, right?
I was gonna, yeah.
I'm sure he was like, Anthony, what's going on?
Yep.
Because they all know you.
Yeah. Hanson, I've seen him a few times at like local shows, and I've seen him and Malonis and all them guys like randomly, like at Walmart or wherever. You know, I talked to them for a minute. Hey, how's it going? They asked me, you know, we are like a little family friends within the wrestling community, especially in New England.
Yeah.
That's why, you know, if you're good to me, I'll go to shows, you know, I'll buy merch. And if you screw me over like like a wrestler did, won't say his name.
Okay. You tell me off air.
Right. I'll badmouth you. You know, he made good on it. So now we're cool again. But, you know, how you treat fans is how the fans will treat you.
I was out to eat with my stepdaughter, Nicole, right? Brandon Locke came in. I'd never met him or anything, but he knew me from Facebook and probably the show. Yeah. Came over, shook my hand, was like, hey, nice to see you. I was like, whoa. And I'm trying to explain to Nicole's special needs. And she's like, what? What? I'm like, you'd have no idea how cool that just was.
It's like a mark out moment.
Totally. Anthony, is there anything you want to plug?
No, not really. You know, if you follow me on Facebook, you follow me. If not, you'll see me at the shows talking crap.
Definitely, and go over and say hi.
Exactly.
You know, Anthony, thanks for coming on again. We'll do this again because I like having you on. You're a real great wrestling fan. I'm going to tell you that right now. You really are. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Guys, we're out. Peace. Hi, guys. I hope you're enjoying the show. Listen, I could use a little help to grow my YouTube channel. So if you could please like, share, and subscribe. That's most importantly, subscribe. Send me a direct message, and I'll give you a shout out here on the show. My YouTube channel is real simple. It's just my name, Leo Connors. Thanks in advance. Peace.